Nature Hike sleeping bag. Could this be the best budget ultralight sleeping bag on the market today? Let's find out. Okay guys, so here's the deal. This is the Nature Hike Mummy Bag ML150. Technically, this is their older model. This was their 2015 to 2017 model. They do have a new model out. It is slightly more expensive than what I paid for these, but for the price, I couldn't pass it up. Now, the first thing I want to say is this thing weighs in at 2.2 pounds. All right, and it has a great compression sack. All right, this is a mummy bag. This is not down, this is synthetic, but the synthetic fill is actually cross-sewn in so it won't shift like a lot of sleeping bags and mummy bags do, low-end ones. Now, I've got it compressed, but it actually can compress a lot more than this. Temperature rating. Everybody wants to know about temperature rating. So as I unpack this, we're going to talk about temperature rating and how I use this. So when you're unpacking this, all you do is use your finger and pull up on all these straps. Go right around it in a circle. I'm telling you, this is a great sack. Great stuff sack. And I don't roll mine up. I just shove it in there. And I've never had any problems with it. All right, so we're gonna pull this out, let it start to do its thing where it fluffs up and all that. And we can talk about it while it does. Yeah, it comes in some crazy colors. If you guys don't know about Nature Hike, they make a lot of really good products at a good price. They really do. They make some really nice tents, honestly, for the price. So now we just let it come back up and it'll just swell right back up. So let's talk about temperature ratings. Now, I'm a hot sleeper. So this thing, when I take it out, I pretty much just lay on it in the summer or the late spring or early fall. I just lay on it as another pad. And then I'll take a sleeping bag liner and actually sleep in that as it starts to get cooler out. Now, this is supposed to be good down to about, for survival, it's supposed to be good down to about 32 degrees. 32, 40, somewhere in there. Comfort is 45 degrees. All right, now, I can tell you now, this is a mummy bag. And any of you that's ever slept in a mummy bag, they get hot fast. Your body has a lot easier time heating up this smaller area than, say, a regular fold-over style sleeping bag. But where this mummy bag shines, at least in our situation, is when you unzip it, it still has a foot box. And the zipper doesn't really, the way it's made, it doesn't really touch your body. So my wife will unzip it and pull it on just like it's a quilt. Just pull it over, leaving the bottom open. Especially, she likes to be covered up in the early morning in the summer when the temperature gets down to where it's reasonable. She just likes covers on her. So she can use this as a quilt. And she can also use it as a quilt inside of her hammock. Now, everybody says, well, go get the quilt at Costco. Why would you do that? That quilt at Costco is nice. I'm going to tell you now, it's nice and the temperature range is kind of close. But take that quilt and go out when it's sub 32. This has a far better chance of getting you through the night than that quilt. Also, that quilt's like 20 some bucks. I got this from an eBay seller, and it's basically Nature Hike, and they're just their outlet. But they have multiple guys that do it for them. The seller that I got this from no longer has these. He's moved on to the new model, but there is 3 or 4 other sellers, but they're all doing about the same price. You can get these between $15.99 and $17.99. That's right, $15.99 or $17.99. So there's no contest here. Everyone should have one of these in their kit. Now, as this starts to fluff up, we'll kind of look at it here. Like most standard, this has the Velcro at the top, and it can be folded back in on itself or locked in. If you own a sleeping bag, and I tell everyone this, and especially my kids, I can't get them to understand it, don't use the strap to pull your zipper. Put your finger and your thumb on your zipper, and I don't care if you have the most expensive, sleeping bag there is, or if you have the cheapest. You can unzip it, but if you go pulling on that, more than likely you're going to end up running astray and getting tangled up. I mean, I had a $400 REI sleeping bag do that to me. So it is very simple. Take these two, put it on either side of the zipper, and then when you pull up, it's going to self-guide and it won't get stuck. You wouldn't believe how many people I see out camping that end up ripping their entire zippers apart, even on the most expensive sleeping bags doing that. I don't know why everybody does that. But anyways, so this does, and this is kind of a cool feature, this does actually break at the bottom zipper. So technically, you can zip two of these together, which is what my wife wanted, which is actually why I ended up buying these. You can zip two of these together and have a two-person bag. And it does work. I mean, you have each have your own foot box, but the rest of it is shared. Don't ask why my wife wants that. I don't know. That's what she wanted, though. And if that's what makes her happy, so be it. But what I'm saying to you, though, is I know you guys probably can't see all this, but this is what my wife does. She pulls it over like it's a blanket or a quilt, puts her little feet in the little feet box. And boom, you got a quilt. Pull it all the way up. Now, there is a drawstring to mummy it down on your face, and it actually is made with good paracord, not that cheap junk. So, I think that if you're like me and you're a hot sleeper, this is just going to be a pad. I think that this, for me, is a 4-season bag. And for my wife, too, and I'll tell you why. We both own sleeping bag liners. So whether you want to get a silk one, a flannel one, or a wannabe cotton one. They make cotton-like ones where it's like a sheet, but it's made out of like a nylon and something else, like a polyester nylon blend, so that it won't, that it wicks moisture away. They can be had on eBay for $6 all the way up to like 25. You put one of them liners inside this, and I've got no fear of going out and getting into the 20s. I'm not afraid at all, because I'm a hot sleeper. But you put my wife inside this thing with a flannel liner, and she'll run to the 20s too. She won't have a problem with that at all, because it is that warm. And if you get cold, you mummy up. You just pull that string and mummy up. And we also, the one thing I will tell you is if you get a sleeping bag liner, make sure it has a zipper and not one of the buttons or the Velcro. Because if you got to get up to go to the bathroom at night, those are a nightmare to get out of. And I'm talking about an absolute nightmare. If it doesn't have a zipper, don't buy it. I actually was going to bring ours in, but I forgot to. I'm not getting in this thing because it'll be 1,000,000 degrees and it's hot. But I'll tell you that I am just over 6 foot. I'm not quite 6'1" anymore. But I can get in it and fully stretch all the way out and put the hood up and still have a couple inches of room easily. Now I will tell you, for mummy bags, all of them tend to run slim in the leg area. So your legs are kind of together, but I got pretty big legs. So there's not a lot of foot movement room in these. So if you're a person with like restless leg or something and it's going to bother you, then a mummy bag's probably not the best choice for you. Other than that though, I mean, I'm not a little guy. I mean, I turn in at like 230 and my wife's got all the right shapes in all the right areas and she fits in it great too. I mean, we're not little tiny dainty people. My wife may be short, but she's got curves. So we fit into it very comfortably. For me, I'll probably never have to put the mummy hood up because I'm such a hot sleeper. And if I was going to go out and try and go 4-season deep cold, I would probably bring some like Russell baseball pants or something to wear as like a liner, and then the sleeping bag liner, and then the sleeping bag. But I just don't see the point in buying 2 different sleeping bags or 2 different quilts or, you know, all these different things when one can do the job, you know, at a reasonable price. Most people actually don't go camping in 20-degree weather. So I would think that this alone probably is good enough. If you had a puffy jacket and, you know, you could sleep in your clothes if you had to and get by. I just don't see the point in spending a whole bunch of money on different season gear if it's not necessary. This serves the purpose year round for me. And a lot of times if we're really trying to go light, I'll leave this bad boy at home even though it's 2.2 pounds, which is nothing. I'll leave this guy at home and just take a sleeping bag liner with me. And I think mine was like $7 and it's like an ugly sky blue, but it works. So just wanted to kind of review it. It's been out on multiple trips with us. It's soft. I mean, I've got no complaints. The build quality is great. The stitching is super nice. It's all tucked and, you know, rolled. There's no complaints. The Velcro is still real strong and it's sewn in Velcro. But for $15.99 to $17.99 free shipping, really? Go to REI and try and buy you a mummy bag. Just try. You better come with 100 or a couple hundred at least. I mean, and they're good quality, don't get me wrong. But how many of these, for how many years can you buy? You know, if this only lasts us 2 or 3 years, people say, well, you only get 2 or 3 years out of that. Well, yeah, and then I'll buy another one for $20. You know, it's one of those things where I can't see the investment that I would spend $300 on a sleeping bag when this one will do the same job, if not better. And I'm a hot sleeper, so that's my excuse too. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. It's one of those things where it's personal preference, and I'm just giving you my opinions on this. Obviously, everybody else can buy whatever they like. But if we're not making videos on some of this lower end gear, then no one knows. And a lot of us are on a budget. A lot of us are wanting to use that money to take more trips rather than buy better gear. Not that there's anything wrong with having top-notch gear. But as you can see, I can't get over this stuff sack. I love this thing. You just keep pushing it in and pushing it in, just like you would, say, anything else. My wife gives me crap because I won't roll it up because I think there's no point. But in my pack, the other thing I love about this is in my pack, this thing takes up no space. No space at all. And because it's synthetic, I don't have to stress about it being compressed all the time. I mean, it's not really good for it. You should let it decompress, but it's not like down where you absolutely have to have it out and open, you know, most of the time, or it stays flat. As you saw, that thing's puffed up in no time. And I want to show you just how easy this is to compress. You just keep going around and around. And as I said, I can compress it more. This is just doing it the easy way. I can usually put it on the floor and just kind of step on it, pull these. But then we're back. And I mean, really? $15.99 to $17.99. Even the bag. A bag like this is going to cost you $4 or $5 easy, if not more, just for that stuff sack. So, if you liked the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, this is the ML 150 sleeping bag by Naturehike. And you really should go check out their website too. Naturehike's got a website and they got some pretty good stuff on it. I really can't say enough good stuff about this company. Everything I bought from them, from stuff sacks to sleeping bags to even almost pulled the trigger on a tent. I just got a better deal somewhere else, but everything I've had from them has been top notch. Top notch. So, in my opinion, probably the best budget mummy sleeping bag, and at 2.2 pounds, it definitely, in my opinion, falls into the ultralight category. So, thanks for watching, and I'm Tony with Our World Outdoors, and we'll see you in the next one.